Today is Tuesday, May the 20th, and I took another step today in the direction of trying to spend some more time outside of Canada. And I was in touch with a lawyer in Spain through a mutual friend who is going to work with me on a digital nomad visa. What does that mean? That means when our family leaves Canada on September the 2nd and we go over to Spain and our visitor visa runs out on December 2nd, that we would be able to stay there longer and continue to work remote like I do now and have done for the last couple of years. So that's exciting because that could be an opportunity for our family to stay put in Spain. It sounds like over the course of the weekend and late last week, some things arose with this Montessori preschool that we've been supporting and that we really want to get involved with. And so on this trip, when we go over, Lisa and I might, and the girls might be able to help do a little bit more with this school. And if we were able to secure that digital nomad visa, that would be, awesome. It would be super awesome because that means we can come and go. We wouldn't necessarily just have to stay there. And we've talked over the last couple of years about maybe trying to purchase a residence in Spain or something like that. And while we're not in a position to do that today, we're hoping that over the course of the next year or two, we will be able to do that. So it's very exciting. Stay tuned. Over the course of this week, I'm going to be sending over a bunch of paperwork and seeing how far I can get down the road of getting a digital visa for Spain. And in other news, this morning I was at the shop bright and early because in our planning of helping to remove me from needing to be in the business and instead just being a resource for our team because of the length of time I think I'm going to be gone. I sat down with someone that we put in a position, a second person that I had put into a position or I had allowed to move into a position. In fact, sort of encouraged the individual to get into the position before we had really defined how people would move into that position in the future. And so as part of our project management system that I built, one of the great things about building your own software is that you can add pieces to it that really work well for your business. And for us, we added a component, a module, if you will, called a career path. And it is a list of skills and tasks highly unique to what we do. And a project manager is able to review those lists with anyone on our team who's looking to advance. And once two project managers have approved everything on those lists, that individual is eligible for a pay increase. They're eligible for some additional responsibility, and they have a crack at getting up to becoming a project manager. So it's sort of you get in at the ground, you work your way up, and our project management team can help direct you. This particular individual, we advanced him up a couple months ago, and it has become apparent that I did that prematurely. And unlike most business owners that usually don't take responsibility for these sorts of things, because I was able to identify a couple of weeks ago where I did this before, it became apparent to me that I needed to catch it again. And so I'm guilty of seeing potential in people that they might not see in themselves. And then I look to work a little harder than they do to get them to where I think they need to be. The big piece that I always forget is that someone has to want to get there on their own. So notwithstanding, I'd like to serve them. Notwithstanding, we'd like to come around them as a team and help them get to where they want to be. Sometimes people just aren't in a position to do something with that. And it turns out that this particular individual right now, he's probably got like 85% of our predefined training and lists and skills and tasks under his belt, but that last 15% is really critical. And so I moved him ahead before we had this module in our system, or before we had this particular checklist available. And so I was in the shop early to pull him back so that we can reset expectations. And there's nothing harder in the world than resetting expectations. Certainly as a business owner, when you are responsible for kind of being, or the stage that we're at anyway, I'm responsible for sort of duct taping everything together, and I'm the guy that just helps keep some of the pieces moving. In doing that, you can often overlook certain things, and it's now happened twice in the last 2 weeks where I prematurely moved people into a spot that they agreed to be in, But then watching them in the spot, it's become apparent that it's just not the right thing for them. And so as a leader, as an owner, it's hard to take ownership for everything that happens in the organization. A lot of times you want to say, look, someone, you need to do that, or you need to do that. But I think that building a really strong culture and a team environment, certainly with the kind of worker that we have, where life's already tough, they're coming into our business and we don't want to make it any tougher on them, that you really want to make sure that you've got the right people doing the right jobs. And so anyway, I don't think there's anyone else to move around on our team. We're heading in this direction of making sure that all the things that I'm doing have been handed to people that can do them better than I can. And with the individual that's coming to ultimately be the controller for our business, he's been doing bookkeeping work over the past week. By the end of this week and next week, he pretty much should have it all under his belt. And then I can start moving some of the controller work onto his desk. But if you're a business owner, you, I think, have to be able to take ownership of everything. When you take ownership of everything, what I've seen happen in our culture, in our company culture, is that people that I'm responsible for start doing the same thing. So our project managers start taking ownership over everything. Our site supervisors take ownership over everything, and it helps because then no one's concerned, no one's pointing a finger, no one feels bad when there's been an accident or something has happened that no one could foresee happening. And I just think that it goes hand in hand with being a servant. I'm entrusted with this particular business. I'm entrusted with leading our team really, really well. And so far, we've been able to find favor in the marketplace. Our guys have been able to get paid really well for what they do. And we have the wind at our back because the market also has a lot of work. So it's helpful that we've got a good culture and a good company. But we really won't get stress tested until maybe the inevitable happens in Canada, where things just continue to get tougher thanks to some of our government policies. But for the time being, everything seems to be moving in the right direction. And it's an awesome, awesome responsibility to be able to lead this team. And leading the team doesn't necessarily mean that I have to do everything. It means helping other people come along and putting them in the right spot to do the right job, which you've heard me talk about on past episodes. So it's the first day after the long weekend. Pretty excited. I'm curious to see how quickly or not the digital Nomad visa process goes. Spain generally moves a little bit slow, but who knows? Maybe I will get lucky and I'll be able to work with a lawyer that does know the process and can kind of move me through it a little quicker than usual. I did try to do this before on my own and wasn't super successful, mostly because here in Canada, the consulates are kind of 4 hours away, or the consulate, the Spanish consulate, is about 4 hours away in Toronto. And so a lot of the work has to be done through the consulate. So I'm hoping that by working with a lawyer in Spain, that by the time I get there, everything's been put together so that maybe we can just go ahead and get this visa approved. So we are not without a destination after December the 2nd. So I'm pretty pumped about that. Anyway, stay tuned. Today, as I'm sure you can sense, today is not a day where I'm looking forward to staying in Canada. I'm looking forward to having our team really take what we've done to the next level and be there to support them financially, but also with some leadership. And then looking to spread our wings and get over to Spain and try to help out this Montessori school. They're looking to almost double in size. And so that's creating just some logistics and some things that they need help with. So we're pretty excited about that. But I am excited right now to not stay in Canada, but to go.